here. So it's the pixel that Debbie did. You can find it on the Facebook page, but if you don't have access to it right now, I'll post a link to our link tree in the chat right now. And there we go. So I'll post it on the chat, and you just have to scroll down to Debbie's name, and it'll be the very first one here. So you'll be able to see the little hedgehog there. All right, so what I'm going to be formatting this for is I'm going to be formatting it for math. So I'm going to be formatting it for inequalities. The reason why I chose that, it's because there's a lot of things that I have to move around in order to make it work. So just so that you can see how actually it's pretty simple to reformat. And also because I teach high school, having this many questions as practice is just way too much, right? The problems take a long time. So sometimes you want to be able to shrink the problems down. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these 22 problems and I'm going to shrink it down to just 10. And then after that, I have 10 questions that I've already written out. So I wrote the questions out. I always try to prepare this in advance. So I wrote 10 questions down and I have the answers, and then I'm just gonna format this whole thing that way, right? But the hard part's already been done by Debbie because she's already formatted it all for us. That's definitely what takes the longest, making the pixel and then formatting it. So a couple of things first is I like to kind of take everything out that I don't need. Like I don't want this here. If you want it there, leave it. But I don't like putting my instructions that way. I like them across the top. So that's what I'm gonna do first. I'm just gonna go here and I'm gonna hit the backspace button. And then the other thing that I don't want is I don't want these to be all merged together. I don't want this big box. So I'm just gonna click the two little merge cells that will undo the merge. So I'm gonna click on that. And then now these are just all cells. So now I want to put my instructions on this top one here. So I'm going to make it bigger first, this fourth one here. That's where I'm going to put my instructions. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to go from here. I'm just going to select all the white part in this row, and then I'm going to merge that. So I just have a nice, just long row at the top, and I'm gonna put my directions here. And you can put anything you want in here. So directions and solve each linear inequality, and then I'll finish filling it out after, but that's what I'm gonna put there. Also, I want my directions to be at the top, so I'm gonna change that. That is all of these. So obviously this one's the one we're all used to. This is gonna put it in the center. I actually don't like my instructions in the center. I do like them left aligned. It just kind of follows like what textbooks do. But instead of this being the vertical alignment, instead of being at the bottom, I wanted to start at the top. That way, if I write a lot, because sometimes I tend to have very wordy instructions to make sure I say everything that needs to be said, it'll just be more like a paragraph and not starting at the bottom. So I'm gonna also go here to the text wrapping so that when it reaches the end of the row, it'll wrap to the next one. So I just have that set up so that later when I come here and type, it's gonna do everything that I need it to do. And then you can make your text bigger or any of those good stuff. All right, the other thing is I know I'm not gonna need any of these questions. So I'm gonna highlight all of these and I'm gonna delete. And I'm gonna do the same to the right-hand side because I don't need any of those questions. I'm gonna put something else in there. If you want the 22 questions, if you're not going to shrink down, this is a really good time to start adding your questions in, right? So you can add your questions in each of these, but I don't want that many. I have to shrink first. So I like working with my questions first. So I'm gonna shrink these two together. I'm gonna end up combining these two together. So I'm gonna select the two and then go to merge. And then select the two and then go to merge. And now instead of having to do this every time, because it would take a long time, I'm just gonna select these two now and control copy. So then I can paste it and it does it automatically for me. And then I'll select just one and paste it. Oh, it didn't work. I'll select two and paste it. This bottom one, because it's the oddball 11, because I want 10 questions, I'm not going to do anything with it yet. I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to have to eventually combine it with something else. So now I'm going to select all these, copy, and then I'm going to paste them over on the right-hand side. And now I have that one set up already. And this is where I'll eventually put my questions in. Okay, so that part's done. And then now we have to start reducing the number of questions. I like doing this first because it helps me troubleshoot. I'll have to go back in there and then put in my actual answers in there. But I want to first, I like to see if I like the way it looks, if I'm going to need to shrink anymore, if maybe I end up wanting to keep a few more questions. So I like to do this before I put any of my content in. So this is what I'm going to do next. This is how you reduce questions. There may be other ways to do it. If you know of another way, let me know. This is just the way that I do it. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this top one and I'm going to go to view more, conditional format. So now here on the side, I can see the conditional formatting for that cell. Okay, it just so happens to just be this one. What I want to do is I want this conditional formatting, the one right below it, to actually be equal to this one. So I'm going to combine those two. So I'm going to click on this one so that when I'm here on this one, I'm going to select this and copy it. So control copy to select this. I'm going to go to cancel. And then I'm going to paste it on this one so that instead of being this conditional formatting, I want it to be the one above. Okay, so now notice if I erase this answer now, nothing's going to happen to my picture because I've reformatted that instead of being 4, it's just this 13. Okay, the other thing that's going to help you is that now that we've changed it, notice how when I click on the 13, the blue doesn't pop up here on the side. Well, I want it to pop up because eventually I have to change my answers. So I'm going to click back on the blue one. And the way that I make it appear on this one, I'm going to select this little box here that says select data range, the little 4 square here. I'm going to click on that, add another range, and then click on that 13. And okay, and then done. So now both of them come up here. And this one just the blue. But now I'm going to select these two and merge it. And I've just reduced one question. Okay, so you definitely get quicker at this, right? I was just trying to like really talk through it. But so let's do another one because I do have to do all of these. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to copy it, the top one. Then I'm going to go to the one at the bottom, the 36. I'm going to click it and I'm going to paste that one. And before I hit done, I can add that 4 square that I was talking about. So we can do it all in one step. I'm going to click on select data range, add another, and I'm going to add the top one. Done. Done. And now you can see that when I click on the 5, both of those come up. So I can delete this bottom one and merge. So I just got rid of another one. And I have to do this to all of them. So I'll do these last 2 at the end because we do have to do something a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to do this one with the 6. So click, copy, done. Go to the one at the bottom, paste. Notice how in this one, there's a couple of them. I don't know if you saw that there was 2 black ones. So I do have to do it to all of them. So I'm going to paste, go here, add, 6, done. And I'm done with that one. Notice how now when I click on the 51 again, there's these 2 that I still have to do. And you can tell which one's which because obviously the one at the top has the 6 on it. This one at the bottom still has the 51, so I still got to change this one. So I'm going to paste and then add 6, done. And then I got one more to do. So I'm going to go on the 51 and then paste, click, add another range, 6, done. All right, so now I got all of them. So I'm going to delete this and merge. And that's all of them. And you can, if you do them one at a time this way and you keep the original answers without deleting them, you can very easily see if there's something wrong with your picture, because some of the pixels will go away when you merge, and then you can fix it right there and then. So we'll see if that happens, but probably not, because I know Debbie's very meticulous. So that's probably not going to happen. But if it does, when you're going one at a time, it's very easy for your eyes to go where the mistake is, and then you can fix it. So we're going to do one more, 432. Got to copy this one. Then I'm going to go on the 33, and I need to change those two. Paste, add another range. Done. Back here. Paste, add another range. This one, done. Okay. And that's done. So I finished all of them. I just like to check, make sure they're both 432. Delete and merge. All right, for those of you that just joined us in the Zoom, I'm going to post the link tree again in case you want it, so you can see what we're doing. Oh, I guess it's not going to let me. Oh, it's not letting me paste. The chat is weird. Let's go back here. So you can find the hedgehog on Facebook, but you can also find it on the link tree if you need it. All right, so we're still reducing questions. I'm gonna work one more step by step, and then I'll keep working on all the other ones. And remember, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself or let me know in the chat. So we're gonna join these two together. Click on the higher one, copy that formatting. So then I can paste it into the ones here on the 12, paste. And then I wanna add the top one. So I went to the 4 squared, add another range, click on the top one. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that then when I click on this one, all the formatting comes up, because then I'll need to change the answers to the correct ones. Delete the bottom one. Oh, what happened? Let me delete. It's not letting me delete. There. And merge. All right, I'm gonna leave these, like I said, till the end, but at least I now have that left column completed, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing to this one here. So the right one. Copy, done. Paste. Paste. Oh, I forgot a step. I forgot to add the top one. That step, if you're formatting just for yourself, that step is not necessarily important if you know where to go to find the conditional formatting later. It's important if you're gonna like to keep things neat, and in case you want to change it again afterwards. Merge. Copy. Bottom. Paste. Merge. So the other thing too is if you want these to be different colors, like I like this baby blue color better than this yellow color. So if you take this and you drag it to the top, it'll turn that box that color. So like this orange one, maybe if you wanted, I don't know, the purple one. You just have to, it doesn't change your formatting at all. It's just going to change the leading color for these cells. I'm going to leave it, the orange one. So just a trick, a tip. If you didn't know that, maybe you did. All right, we're almost done with these steps. And this one, done. And merge. Copy. Paste. Add. Done. so that's all of them. Delete, merge, and I actually like the yellow one on this one, so I'm gonna move this one to the top. All right, last one for this one. Done. Paste. So yeah, I hope you're not intimidated now anymore, if you were at all, on how to reduce the number of questions. It actually goes really fast, especially if the number is even. So joining two together is really easy. This one is just because we have an extra one on the side, and I don't really like how that looks. So I'll show you how I'm gonna change that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this one. So this 64, I'm gonna add it to the 35. And this 11, I'm gonna add it to the 9. And it's gonna work the same way as what we've done, but because I don't wanna merge those, I don't wanna merge those two together because then it's gonna make my boxes not be the same size as the other ones. I just need to go find that conditional formatting in there and delete it. So I'll show you what I mean by that in a little bit, but what I'm gonna need is I'm gonna need to see the formula bar. So notice how like the formula bar up here is hidden. So I'm gonna go to view, show formula bar, because now when I click, I can see that this is E97. This box here is E97, which I would not be able to see here on the side. It's like impossible to tell what number that is. So I'm gonna copy 35 because this is the one I wanna make it. Copy, done. I'm gonna click on this one and then I'm gonna paste here. So this is still all the same that we've been doing. I'm gonna click on here, go to add range, click on the 35, done. Okay, so that's done. The only thing is that now when I delete this answer, it's still going to be like, notice how when I delete it, it's still baby blue. I don't want that. I want it to be white. I want it to match. So I forgot what answer this was. 64. I'm gonna put it back in there. 64. All right. So when I go here, again, I need to know what this is. This is E97. So I'm gonna go in here. This is what takes a little while. When you click on this little box here, we want to find E97. Okay, so notice here E81 to E96, that's the good one because we want it to go up to 96, our coloring, but once it gets to E97, we don't want that. So I need to find that E97 in here. And unfortunately, that takes a while sometimes to find, especially if there's a lot of, oh, I found it really quickly. It's right there. It is in order though, from, as you can see, the numbers. So 96, 97. So this E97, I gotta delete that formatting. Notice how now it's a different color. So what that did is when I click done here, when I click on this box, that formatting that was there is no longer here. That's what you want because you, I mean, unless you don't mind it being a different color, but I do think it looks funky. The recording, yeah, I'll have the recording available for sure. After, I'm just gonna have to put it on YouTube instead of Facebook because it wasn't letting me go live. But I am recording it, so I'll put it up there. All right, so let's do it one more time because I still have to join this color. So click on the top one. I'm gonna copy it. I should still be copied on my end, but just in case, I'm gonna copy it. Go down here, paste, and then I have to click on the select data range, add another range. I wanna add this range, but I wanna delete the 97 to 100. And notice how it's right up at the top here. So this one is this box here. I wanna delete that from it. And go, okay, done. And now notice how this is white. So now when I delete it, that's it, it's gone. So what is left to do to clean it up is remove that border. So that we're just gonna highlight all of them. And then I'm gonna go here to this little box where it says borders, and I'm gonna go to none. And it got rid of the borders and it's like nothing ever happened. So it's super clean. Now we gotta clean up the other side. So I gotta clean up this 11. Yeah, so it's exactly, Elaine. So if they don't do this, that's why there's missing pixels, right? So when you reformat, then you end up with missing pixels is because they don't do the step where they add. So notice how when I click here, so when I reformat someone else's work, I don't go, if I'm only going to use it for myself, I don't go through and do it this thorough. I just want it to look nice, right? So I don't go like kind of like the extra steps. So I'll show you what that step is that does this. So when I click on here, I'm going to copy this because this is the one that I want to join with. I'm going to click on this last one and I'm going to paste. If I did just this, if I just did that part, it's already formatted so that the answers for number 9. However, when I click on this 9 here, notice how the blue is not here. So when I go through and I delete this, once I delete that, nobody can see that formatting. It just belongs here. So by going into this one and this little select data range and then adding this 9 one, now it belongs to that 9 box. So anyone else that comes through and tries to reformat it, they'll be able to see it. Okay, and then we have to delete the other one. This one's DD 97. So I gotta go and delete DD 97. Here it is, DD 97 to 100. Okay, notice how that's gone. And now we gotta do it one more time to the black one. So paste on here, go here, add another range, add the one with the 9 and delete 97 to 100. Done. All right, that is it. We are done with reducing the number of questions. I am going to take this, delete it. I'm highlighting it. I want to get rid of that border. So I'm going to go here to borders and take the borders out. And now it's clean. This is a 10 question activity now. Okay, so now we're ready to add our questions in. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to add questions. If you already know how to do questions, after this, I'm going to go to adding extra columns, but I do go one step at a time. So again, this is my process. If you have a different method of doing it, there's no right or wrong way. Again, I'm doing math. If you're doing a sentence, this is probably another good tool for that because these little fat boxes don't work for me. I want them to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to select both columns together. So you can do that by, I use an Apple. So the command key or control if you have, or shift, not shift, control, if you have a PC. So I'm selecting these two. Once they're both selected, when I move one of them, they're both going to resize exactly the same.
Ooh.
Yeah. So now they're both even and it's longer and it still fits my whole page. So I'm all about that. I want it to fit in one page. I will shrink and expand until I get it to fit in one page nicely. I don't want my students to be scrolling left and right. I don't like it. I just feel like a lot of them might miss something, right? Or might use it as an excuse. Like, oh, I didn't see it. And it's like, well, now you can because there's no scrolling. Okay, so that's it. That's all you do. And I gotta add the questions in here. So if you're typing in here, all you gotta do is just start typing. Okay, the only thing that you might need is, again, if your text is really long. So let's say you have a really long sentence to type in here, right? That obviously doesn't look good. So you want your text to wrap. So that button is this one here, text wrapping. So you're gonna click on here and then just wrap it. Okay, so that's all you gotta do if you're typing in there. So if that's what you're doing, definitely move along with that. But I'm going to insert an equation. And because I teach higher math, I like my equations to actually look like equations. I don't want any of like funky typing in there. So there's tools like Equatio, for example, that help you with this. I personally don't like them for Google Sheets. They give you like a weird film around. So instead, I like using PowerPoint. So let me just see the questions. Can you resize the question box vertically without changing the pixel art? Like to make it skinnier? Unfortunately, no, if it's merged. You can though, like, let's say this is, let's say you don't mind having spaces in between. Okay, so if I wanted to make it like a skinnier question, I can unmerge this and then make it, let's say I wanted it this big. So I'm gonna select all these and then I'm just gonna merge those. Okay, and then notice how this is not part of the question anymore. So then I would have to do the same to the answer box, unmerge it, and then I would just merge up until whatever that other one, so up to there. So you can do that. I'll show you another way around it though. Let me just undo this because I like it like this for me. But if you don't mind having a smaller pixel art, right, you can select all of them. So I'm going to select all of these. Right. I'm going to right click. You have to right click while you're over here on the side. Right click and then go to resize. So notice how it's 7. I'm known to making really small ones again because I want them to fit in one page. So I will go as small as 3. Right? Like I don't mind my pixels being really tiny. It actually makes it harder for your students to click on there. So like look, if I change to 3, right? This got a lot smaller. This got squished. But then now that just means you need to change the column. So I'm going to click on all the columns here. And I'm going to change all of these. So right click, resize columns, and I'm going to change those to 3 because they're all boxes. The pixels are all squares. So now it's still the same super cute picture. It's just smaller. So you can do it that way too. I do that if I wanted to look a certain way. Okay, so that was selecting all of them, resize, right click, resize, and then selecting all the columns, right click and resize to the same exact number. And you can do any number as long as it ends up being a box. I'm gonna undo both of these because I like this size. Maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller so that it does, because right now I have to scroll and I don't like that. So if I can't play around with the top and the bottom to make it fit, I will end up resizing eventually. All right, let's add those questions in. So PowerPoint. I am going to open up PowerPoint. I need to reshare because you won't be able to see it. So I am going to reshare PowerPoint. All right, so the awesome thing, I know that if you watched any of my videos or if we've done like on our YouTube channel, I am a huge advocate of using PowerPoint because PowerPoint lets you save as a PNG, which there's no background. So no matter what color you end up making your, which is not like equation, right? So I hate equation. So when it ends up being, no matter what color you use, like a beautiful background color that you use, it's going to take that. So all you're going to see is the text. Okay, so I have this typed in here, but I'll just show you from scratch, right? I'm pretty sure we're all pretty confident with using these kind of tools, but I'm gonna insert an equation. And then I'm gonna type in one of the ones that I have here. I'll do number 6. I already have them all typed up because I did this in advance, but 5 less than or equal to -11 minus 4j. Symbol salad. I have not. I'll give it a try. I've never tried that. But I think also too, because I work with these so much, I am so used to PowerPoint that I feel like this is I work on it super quickly. So I just like it. All right, so now notice how it's super small, right? That's the default font. I'm gonna make it really large. And the reason why I make my font size really large is because for definition purposes, the Google Sheets likes it a lot better. It'll be a lot more defined if you went from a big picture to a small one. So if you allow it to shrink it, then if you give it a small picture and it has to stretch it out. So I'm gonna select this and go to home and make it, I don't know, 72, 66, just a big one. and then I'm gonna right click. So as it's highlighted here, I am going to right click, save as a picture, and then name it whatever number. This happens to be my number 6 question. I'm gonna go to save. And it's gonna ask me to replace it. I'm gonna say yes. Let me just make sure it's the right one. And replace, just because I already had a number 6 in there. Maybe it's the pizza. Emma, can you grab that? Thank you. Okay, so I just ordered pizza for my kids. So that's it. Okay, so I would type in all my questions. That's what I did. So I'll show you my desktop right now, which is a mess, but no judging. So my desktop looks like right now. So I have all of these saved right here on my desktop, 1 through 10, and I'm just gonna paste them right in there. So let me go back to this. We'll change the share settings. Okay, so that's what you would do. This is what I'm gonna do now to import those is the same thing you would do, for example, if you teach kinder. I'm bringing up kinder because I've been doing this for my daughter. And you needed to put a picture, a diagram, you would want to put a picture in. So something else that's not really related to this, but that you might want to use. Anytime that I make something for my daughter, I use this page called Emojipedia. I don't know if you've heard of that, but I'll post it. I'll find it and then I'll post it in the chat. So Emojipedia literally has every emoji out there for everything, for Apple, for Android. So all of those that like kids are really, really used to seeing. This is what I like using. So let's say I wanted the heart eyes. Right, so you just type in and then you see the little heart eyes. I don't know, let's say I wanted, oh, they're right here, animals in nature. So it shows you a bunch of different ones. So let's say I wanted the doggy. It's literally just here. All you got to do is copy. It copies it into your keyboard and then you can paste it in here. It's really, that page is really awesome for if you're like need clip art, because emojis are not like clip art. They're actually considered like text, and you can't copyright text, right? It's like copyrighting a letter of the alphabet. As long as you're just using it for those purposes, it's like they're completely okay to use. So I really, really like Emojipedia. I'm gonna post that in here in case anybody wants to use it. All right, but that was just another tip. What I want to do is I want to put my pictures in. So the first one is question number 1. So I'm going to insert, image in cell, and then you can either drag and drop from wherever you have it, like on your desktop, or you can browse. I'm going to browse because I already have them all in here, and it'll be right at the top. So 1, and it's just going to put them in there. Next one, insert, image in cell. Insert my second question. Insert image in cell, insert my third question. All right, so I'm gonna keep just adding these until I have all 10 questions in.
How are you doing that without the, because when you're browsing, we're not seeing, are you going to?
Oh, you don't see the browse? Okay, let me do the
browse, but I don't see that you're clicking on anything.
Oh, that's because here, let me change the, hold on, let me change the sharing. Let me know if you can see it now. I think it's because I have it to share just that screen. All right, so let's do this one. Insert image in cell. Can you see all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then browse. And then I have it on my desktop already. So this one for me is 5.
Thank you.
But it's a lot easier to drag and drop, right? So what Dawn said, if you have multiple screens, drag and drop is even faster. I agree. It's just for me, I can't share both screens at the same time. But like, actually, maybe I might be able to. So let me just make this smaller. Now that you can see all of it. It's just, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I share my whole screen, my computer is also connected to my cell phone. And I'm married to a Marine who has a very dirty mouth. So I'm like always afraid that he's going to send a text that has something super inappropriate. So I try my best not to share my full screen. But that's why. So insert image in cell, and then like 6 is here. I can just drag it. And then I'll do it again. Insert image in cell, and 7. I'm just going to drag it. Insert image in cell. 8's up here. Insert image in cell. I lost count. I think that was 9. Yep. Insert image in cell 10. All right, so that was adding questions. So I think that was, I don't even know what number we're on my list of what I wanted to show. Okay, so add questions from, that's barely number 2. Okay, so we have all the questions. Oh, something's going on. Looks weird. It's like not defined. All right, so that definition shouldn't look like that. You can see, like, I don't know if you guys, if it looks like this to you guys too, but it'll fix itself. It has to do with my internet connection probably. All right, so we've reduced the number of questions and we added the questions in there. Now I need to change my answer columns, because if you know math at all, I do need my, I need a symbol, right? So I need my inequality symbol, and then I also need the number. If you don't need if you don't need 2 answers, you don't have to do this, but it's just mostly so that you're not afraid to add columns or rows, right? So I need another, I'm gonna need 2 other columns. So I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna insert, so I'm right clicking, insert 1 column to the right, added this giant column, and then I need another one, insert column to the right. Okay, so now I have this like weird thing. I'm just gonna copy this one and I'm gonna paste it. And I'm gonna then delete all these, because I just need blank ones of the same size. Copy, paste. Okay. The reason why I need this is because I need this one to be the variable, right? Like M, X, and P, and I'll leave that for my students. My students will have to fill in the symbol and then the number here. Okay, so I need to do this to the other side. I'm gonna select, insert 1 column to the right, and then insert another column to the right. And then I'm gonna take these 2, selecting, copy, and then I'm gonna paste them starting here from the top. All right, I still need to resize them. I'm gonna select these 2 and then select these 2. Actually, I'll select this one as well, the 3rd one, because I want all 3 of them to be the same size, because it's just gonna make it look nicer. All right, now I feel like it's too long, so we're gonna have to do some resizing. This is what we talked about earlier. I'm gonna select all these. I am going to be annoying, but I do want it to be fit all in one page. Right click, resize. I'm gonna resize it to 5. See if that's enough. And then I need to resize the top to 5. Resize to 5. Still not quite on one page. So I'm gonna change these to be smaller. And then these to be a little bit smaller. So I always do this first. I like playing around with it until I get it to look how I want it to look. And then I do like all my formatting at the end. But now I'm happy with it because it all fits in one page. These ones here, I want it to be the variable. So this one needs to be, they need to match M, X, N, P, and F. And because they're variables, I want them to be italicized. I centered it, and then I'm gonna make it bigger. 836, that's good. And then these, J, Q, R, X, and V. If you want your students to, if you were doing something similar and you wanted your students to type it, you can do that too. Oh, there's my email. See, that always happens. This is why too, I don't think you can see it, but let me close that. All right. And italic size. Okay, so now is when I'm going to start, my next part here is to change the answers. Okay, so if you only have one answer, this is how you would change the answers. After I do this, I'm going to show you how to do a drop down, because for these, for the symbols, I'm gonna have them choose from a drop down, because the symbols are harder for them to type or to really know how to type. So again, I don't like my worksheets being like a typing lesson, right? It should just be what it's about. And in my class, it's about the math. So I try to simplify all of the the outside stuff for them as much as I can, as long as I'm not taking away from their learning. So again, we're gonna change the answers first. So I'll show you how to reformat to the answers you need. If that's all you need, then that's it. After that, I'm gonna do drop downs for these with the math symbols. And then the very last thing is more advanced. What I want is, I don't want any of these pixels to work unless both of these are correct. So they need to have the right symbol and also the right answer. So that's a little bit more advanced. I have to change the entire formula around. So we'll do that. If you want to watch that part, that's definitely going to take a little longer explaining. It's more advanced. But we're going to change the answers first. So I have them written down. This one's going to be, that's going to be 4. So again, I like doing this one at a time, because now that I put the 4 in, I saw that everything, I saw the pixels that left. So I can very easily eventually tell whether or not I did this correctly. So I'm going to right click, conditional formatting, and I know that everything in here I need to change to 4. 4 and 4. That's it. That one's done. So you would do this to every one of your answers, put the correct one, change the formatting, put the correct one, change the formatting. You don't have to do them one at a time. You can add all your answers in and then go into the formatting. I like doing one at a time because it just helps me visually see to make sure that I'm not missing any of the pixels, which I'm not sure if some of the pixels are missing here. Oh yeah, look, some of them, see like these, let me zoom in. These white ones here, these are missing. It doesn't even, you can't even tell, but so this one, it says that DH57 should be 17. So let's go find DH57. DH57 is this, which one is it? Oh, it's probably one of the ones we deleted. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make it be equal to, sure, this one. We'll change it to DH65. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna go into that pixel that's missing. Doesn't matter which one you end up adding it to. Click on here, go paste. And because I added to this 240, I'm gonna go here, add to range, this one, because now I'll be able to see it if, oh, look at how, ooh, now I feel like I could see other ones that were missing, like this one. All right, let's do it to the same one. I'm gonna paste here. And we're gonna add to range. It's way harder to find mistakes on this one because it's such a, so you can tell, see how when I click on this white, that's supposed to be white. And I can tell it's supposed to be white because there's no condition, when I click on it, there's no conditional formatting on there. So like this one, white, white, white. All right, I think we got all of them. This one. All right, the ones that are not supposed to be white, they would show a conditional formatting up here. All right, we got all of them now. All right, I got sidetracked, but see, that helped us find some mistakes.
I find that when I've got some missing pixels, if I will enlarge the screen, say to 150, then these old eyes of mine, I can click on it better, and then I can see my conditioning formatting, and I can see which ones it's wrong.
Yeah.
And then I can reduce it back down, of course, back to 100%. And I also take and will like click on number 1 and see what range it is already. Like if it's 4, I may write that down
Yeah.
so that I have it right there in front of me, so that it's easy for me to find.
Oh, that's a good idea. Writing it down. I am a big, that's why I always have a notebook next to me too. If I'm having trouble, I definitely write stuff down. That's why I wanted to do this one, because this one's super intricate, right? Most of the pixels are not this, there's not that many colors all together. So when there's something wrong with it, you can very easily see like, oh, there's a missing pixel there. This one's harder. Like it took me a long time to realize there was missing stuff in there. All right, I'm gonna click on these. Okay, we did 4, we did 5. These are all, oh, but that wasn't the right answer. We did 4. My second answer is supposed to be 27. So now those pixels went away. I need to change these to 27. Done. And 27. All right, now I can see there's no missing pixels, so that one's good, it's done. My third answer is supposed to be 11/3. So 11/3 is no longer a number. So I do want you to see that too. Like if you're doing something that's like text, right? If this is what 11/3 is considered text, like would any word, right? If your word was boy or cat, or you had a letter, it's considered plain text, no longer a number. So anytime that you're formatting that way, you can't just have, like I can't just have 11/3. It's not gonna work. It doesn't recognize that as a number, so you need quotes around it. So 11/3, done, and then I have to do this for the other ones. When you have ones that have a lot of formatting, you can also copy it once you just did it once, and then on the other two, you could just paste. And why didn't it work? 11/3, 11/3. And this is what I like formatting. Okay, so I'm gonna try this. I'm clicking on this and I'm gonna go to format where it says number. I'm gonna force it to be plain text. Okay, so that is usually the fix. So if you have tried everything and it's not working, that's usually the fix. So because Google Sheets is in essence, it's a calculator, right? That's what it does. It's a sheet for processing numbers. Anything that's not a number, if you set it to plain text, it'll just read it that way. You can even do that with numbers. So when I first started, I would do everything as plain text, nothing as numbers, because then I didn't have to worry about it. So usually that's the fix. As long as you have quotes and you change it to plain text, it should work. All right, next answer, I'm on number 4, is -19/2. I'm gonna need to do the same thing for this one. Format, number, plain text. And I need to change this, quotes, -19/2. I'm gonna copy this, done. And I'm going to paste, and paste. And here's another tip or trick. If I teach, again, this is math, right? So -19/2 is the same as -9.5. It's 9.5. So some students are using their calculators, which in my class is acceptable. So I would be okay if they came up with an answer of -9.5 instead of -19/2. I would not be okay with like 11/3, I would not be okay if they put the 0.333333 at the end, because it's not an exact answer since it goes on forever. But for numbers like 0.5, I would let them do that. So I want my form to accept both answers. So if you have any kind of work that you would accept 2 answers for, this is a way to add the second answer. So for every, you're gonna have to do this for every color. I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna click, while it's here, I'm gonna click add another rule. So it's copying that rule over, and then I'm gonna change the parentheses here to be -9.5. Done. Okay, so now I'd added it at the bottom. I'm actually gonna copy this, so then I can copy paste. So now you gotta do it to the other color. So I gotta do purple next. I'm gonna add another rule and paste the one with 9.5 in it. Do it to the gray, add another rule, paste that, do it to this maroon, purple, plum color, whatever that is. And there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I did something really wrong. I didn't click add another rule up here. I just did it. So this needs to be -19/2. Okay, so that's a good thing to show you guys. If you just change it, you're just changing it. You need to click add another rule and watch it like flip over. Then you can paste your second one. So that's the way that I double check. I make sure that every color pops in twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it switches 1, 2, 3, 4. So now in here, if a student came in and then did -9.5, it should still also work. They can put in either of those 2 answers are acceptable. So that's the way to do it, to make sure that more than one answer is acceptable if you have that. All right, so again, this is how you add answers. So you can, if that's all you wanted to do, finish adding your answers and that's it. I'm going to move on to making the drop down. So then this isn't like an endless video, and then I'll finish it off and I'll share this on on our Facebook page. So what I want here is I want to drop down for my math symbols. So I want my drop down to include less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then I always throw in one in there. That can never be it. And so I'm going to include an equal sign in here. The reason why I do that is because I want the first answer on the drop down to always be one they can't click, because that deters them from just guessing, right? Because with the drop down, that's the risk that you run, right, of them just like clicking everything, but they're always going to go for that first one first, and it's not going to work. So it's just something that I do just to deter that them immediately wanting to guess, but you don't have to. So to add a drop down, I'm going to add another sheet. So I'm going to go here to the little plus sign, and it's going to give me another sheet. The reason why is because I'm going to put in here what I want that drop down, like what I want inside the drop down. Because I want an equal sign, if I put just an equal in here, it's going to think I'm putting a formula in. I don't want that. So instead, I'm going to put a space first and then the equal sign. Then I want a greater than sign. Then I want a less than sign. Then I want a less than or equal to and a greater than or equal to. Those are the ones that students struggle because they can't find on their keyboard. I don't even remember what those shortcuts are. So instead, I use Google Docs for that. So let me show you what I mean by that. So anytime that I need a math symbol or any kind of like little symbol, I go to Docs. I'll just open any good old doc. So I'm going to open a blank one. And then I'm going to go to Insert and Special Characters. Any of these characters that you see here, whether it be an arrow, sometimes you can even find like cards or dice, right? Like things like this, they can show up on your drop down because it's just text. So I really like using this. So I'm gonna look for less than. So I want the less than or equal to. I just put it in there, and then I want the greater than. Oh, it's not letting me type. And the greater than or equal to. So I want these two symbols. I'm going to copy one of them at a time. Copy. Go here. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to paste it. Now I have it in there. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to copy the other one. Copy, and then I'm going to paste it here. Okay, this is exactly what my drop down is going to look like. Okay, because this is text, I can also use that in my formula eventually when I have to change my formula around. So because this is what I want my drop down to look like, I'm going to set the drop down now. So I want my first drop down to go here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to view more cell options, and I'm going to go to where it says data validation. So it's right below the conditional formatting. Data validation. And I want to, instead of entering here, I'm going to click here where it says select data range. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to the second sheet and I'm just going to select those. So I just dragged down and it added that in there. Done. Save. So now when I go back here, I have a drop down. So students can select what they want. Okay, now because I just have to do it once, I'm going to click on this, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it in all the other ones. And paste. If you have different, you can do many different drop downs. If you wanted a different drop down for each of them, you can just set whatever you want your drop downs to be on the second sheet, and then you would be able to do that. There's not even a reason to hide that drop down or anything later, because again, it's just a way for your students to see it. It's not like it's telling them what the answers are. What I do want though is I want to make these look nicer. So I'm going to put a couple of them in here. Then I'm going to select these, both of them. I want them to be the same size, so 36, just like these. I'm going to make them go in the center, and I'm going to make them go in the middle. So now they're nice and big, and they can select any of those from here. Okay, so that's how you add a drop down. Okay, so that was second to last thing on here. And now the last thing, this is the more advanced. So if you've gone through and changed your answers, you should have something that works, that's completely reformatted. We've done all the basic steps on how to reformat, but I want my answers to accept both of them. Okay, so again, this is a little bit more advanced. Most people don't do this, but it is called an AND formula. So for example, my first one needs to be a less than sign. So M is less than 4. Sorry, I gotta move that chat out of the way. M is less than 4. All right, and I have this open up here. Oh, I need to move the chat. I'm gonna actually close the chat. So if you send anything on the chat, I'm not gonna be able to see it for a little bit. All right, so when I click on here, I can see that this is F17 and then this one's G17. This is where my original formatting is at. But I no longer want it to just be G17 is equal to 4. I want it to be F17 is equal to less than and G17 is equal to 4. So we do need to use an AND formula for that. So I'm going to go in here. I'm actually deleting all this. This is the formula that you use anytime that you want two answers. You do need to start with an AND here. Okay, and then notice how it has a red box. You're going to put the two things that it needs to be. So we need F17 needs to equal less than, comma, and then the second thing that we need is we need G17 to equal 4. Done. Okay, so now notice if I change this, it's no longer correct. That pink one's no longer correct. It's wrong now. So I'm going to copy this. This is a good formula. And then I'm going to paste that formula down here. Now just for it to look nicer, I like to make the whole thing turn color. So I'm just going to do that for the brown one because that's the color that I want it to be. So I'm going to go here, add another range, and I'm going to add this one and this one. So now if this is wrong, nothing works, right? So even if this is right, and then they put a 2 here, it doesn't work. The whole thing needs to be right. So it needs to be less than 4, and then the whole thing turns one color so they can see that their whole answer is correct. Okay, so I'll do another one. For X, this is gonna be, this one needs to be less than or equal to. So less than or equal to. So I'm gonna copy that here. I need this symbol for my formula. Copy. I'm gonna go here, clicking on this one. Again, we need an and formula. So and I need F33 to be equal to that thing I just copied, less than or equal to. And I need G33 to be equal to 27. Okay, so notice how for the one that was a less than sign, I needed quotes because it's text. And then for the 27, I don't need quotes because it's a number. Okay, and then I want it to add that color to both of these as well. And done. So I changed it just for the yellow one. I need to do it for this one. Now, did I copy it? Oh, I didn't. Let's go to cancel. Let's go back here. I'm going to copy this now because I already have the formula that works. So I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to paste it on this one. And I'm going to add this one, and this one. Okay, so now when I select the correct symbol, it will work because the whole thing's correct, not just part of it. All right, so that is all I wanted to show you guys. That goes from the very first one all the way. So what we did is we reduced the number of questions. We added questions from PowerPoint. We changed the answers. We made drop downs. We reformatted the answers. And now we changed the formula to an and one. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll just have the chat open here and I'll stick around, but I'm going to just finish formatting it. So I left off here. So I need to change these answers. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll go through and I'll add the ands. So this one needs to be an 8.
I was actually looking at the make it so that you just did the solving linear equations, because I'm a Star Trek fan and love it. I was trying to, while you were working on this, I was trying to do it, but I can't figure out, it says block reveal key, because I think it's a jigsaw, not a pick. And when I went to slide to find the hidden sheet 2, I couldn't figure out where the stuff was because I think you blanked
did I trick you? So I'm actually very, very deceiving with the way I hide my stuff, but I'll show you how I did it. So you'll be able to find it anyway. So not only do I hide, what I do is I take, like this one, for example, this text here. I will take the text and I will make it infinitely small. Like I'll choose 1 or 2. So like the size, oh, it didn't work. So like you can't even see it. So I do that first, and then I change it to white. But the way that I change it to white is not by going here. So I don't just change it here, because then students can very easily see that that's white when they click on it. Instead, I use conditional formatting. So I would select those fields only, and then I go to add conditional format. I'm just going to do it on this one so then I can show you how to remove it. And I change the font to white. So not only can they not see it, there's also a conditional format. So students have to do this, which is what you can do. If you click on here on the top, the conditional formatting will pop up here on the side. You just have to have it open, the conditional format, and then you're just gonna hit delete. And then while you're still selecting all, I would change the font to something really large, so then you'll be able to see it.
Because it says cell is not empty.
The what?
It says cell is not empty. So
yeah,
if I
just delete it. Just hit the little delete, Yeah.
And then the whole thing changed to font 14.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Now when you scroll through there, What?
It's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, all the way to the side and at the bottom.
So I've been trolling you guys since October, since you started, and I've only. What is the difference between when you do the jigsaw and the conditional formatting? I get confused with that.
So it's the conditional formatting is not a formula. So really it's just that, it's just formatting. So when you conditional format, you're really just like you're limited to colors, right? So you can change, like, let me just right click conditional formatting real quick so I can show you. Conditional formatting. You're limited to this, to the formatting style. So you can change based on something that you want to happen, right? Based on an equation, you can change the way that the text looks and the background color. When you do a jigsaw puzzle like that one, that's like the block reveal, what you're doing is you're pulling a whole picture from the other page. So instead of pulling a color, you're pulling the entirety of a cell. So like you're telling Google Sheets, if this is equal to that, I want you to take what you see in that cell and bring it over. I don't know if that makes it, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that's the difference between the two. It's two completely different formulas. One is just formulas using this, like the actual formula. Those are the puzzles, and the other one's using just the formatting conditionally on for the text.
Okay, that helps. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And just to let you know, Elaine, I love your stuff. Debbie, I love your stuff. I love your stuff.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. I jumped in when I had a minute, so just wanted to say hi.
Hello. Thanks for popping in, Debbie. Let me just read some of the comments. Where would one get the image here? Is it original artwork, or are they grabbing an image and using? Okay, so for the ones that we use, because we do put them on our Teachers Pay Teachers, we actually pay for these templates. So we pay for them, and then this one was by Debbie. So she has the PDF template, and then she uses those color schemes, and you color the one by one, you color the little cells in there. But no, it's definitely not original artwork that like we dreamed up. Yeah.
That's what she was saying. She did this one pixelated, and I've been doing some pixelated, or I've been doing one at a time coloring.
Yeah.
And it's an intensive process.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to use images, and I do like the art stuff, but something like this with that small of a pixel and that many colors is pretty intensive. So that's why I was wondering if this was something she could use the pixel art add-on to make the image, or if this really was done one cell at a time.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
so
So Dawn, I don't think those pixel add-on programs are very good. I've never had that much success with making a nice looking image, but I'll tell you a couple things I do. I work on it when it's much bigger. I don't have it down to the 7-point size column and row height. So I work on it bigger, and I do all of it in Excel, because then I can use the formatter and the little paintbrush and double click on it. And then I've got purple, and I just go and I color all the purple that I need. And then I change it to blue and color all the blue that I need. So I think it's much easier to do in Excel when you're doing the pixel by pixel. So, and like I said, it's fun for me to do that part of it. It's like, it's reading a cross stitch pattern. It's just like cross stitching, but it's faster, and I actually complete them as opposed to any cross stitch pattern I've ever started.
it's okay. She can ask me, what's up, baby? Sorry, my daughter. What? Ray on the Last Dragon? Okay, give Emma the control. I feel like I need to change it back now to a format number. There we go. All right. So do we still have other people left in here? Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions, or Debbie, since she's here too, we can answer them. But I'm going to keep just kind of working through these because I need to finish adding the answers. This is 3/2.
I have another question. I was showing some of the activities with my tutoring students this summer, and some of them, the questions work out, but the picture doesn't show up. It shows like a quarter of the picture. And that's like I've had 3 of them that didn't work out.
Are you taking them from Excel into Google Sheets?
I think because I have it on one profile on Google. So yeah, I drop it down to my desktop and then I move it to my other profile. Yes.
Okay, so if the file is in Excel and you try to take that Excel file and open it in Google Sheets, it will only open the first 26 columns. Yeah, unless there is some sort of typing in a column past that. So like if you were to have this one, the hedgehog in Excel, it would open all the way to that column on the right because there's typing there. But if it's just coloring, so if all the questions are on the left and then the picture, and it's just coloring there, it doesn't see that as anything. And so it doesn't open the whole way and you'll only get half a picture. So that's if it's in Excel and you open it in Google Sheets. But if it's in Google Sheets to begin with, it should open all the way. So I don't know, I don't know what you're dealing with. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, that's one of my kids say, you're on mute. Like, for example, there was somebody had done a basic multiplication division, Batman and Robin, and I can't share a screen. So it only went up to column AB. I had it in my Google Drive as my teacher, dropped it into my Mac, and then picked it back up in a different profile on Google, and it wouldn't open.
But it was all done through Google?
It was Google, dropped to my Mac, and then uploaded again through Google. I can show you guys if I can share a screen, but
yeah, let me finish this one and then I'll give you access real quick. Sorry. Let me see. Okay, so who was talking right now? Is that Sandra?
Sandy.
Okay, let me see. Okay, go ahead. So you should be able to share your screen now.
So what I essentially did, let me just do desktop, was when I was using my profile, teacher profile, I downloaded, like you can see, I just downloaded this. And what I did was I downloaded it to my drive.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's the downloading of Excel. Do you have to download it to Excel?
Well, I don't know how to get it to my other profile because the first one is Sandra Mischiefman, like my teacher, my school profile, and this is my tutoring profile.
Okay, so let me show you. Go back to your drive and open like the hedgehog one.
Okay, so let's do hedgehog.
Yeah. Okay, if you change, see where it says share in the top right corner, the little green. Okay, change that to, see where it says restricted? Mm-hmm. Change that. So click on that, and then change it to anyone with a link. And then hit done. Now go to your see the picture of you right next to that?
Yeah.
Click on that, change it to the other profile.
Okay, so I can change it to that.
So yeah, when you change it to that one, then you don't have to show that if you don't want to, but just change it to the other one and you'll be able to then make a copy and it'll put it in that drive.
Okay, because that's what I was downloading.
Yeah, when you download, because it downloads to Excel, that's what Debbie was saying, that the rest of the picture won't work. So you want to, unless you're going to use it in Excel and you can use that trick where you add some text to the end, that's fine. But if you can avoid using Excel, you should.
This is why I couldn't do it because even though it's on my private computer, the original account,
so click on that. See, is it that one at the bottom? Oh no, that's.
It won't let me do it. It won't because it won't let me change the profile. I don't know why.
Go back to your teacher one. Okay, now click on the share button.
Yeah.
And then I
And-
can share with
With your personal one.
my personal. I can do that. I can send it.
I would do that. And then when you send it there and you open it over there, make a copy. And then that copy is in your personal drive and you own it then. Because now it's in your shared with me folder,
Right.
which is annoying because you can never find anything in there.
Yeah, that's why, because I was moving things back and forth. It was just
Right.
really annoying. Okay.
It's frustrating when your district puts restrictions on you with the sharing. So,
It's my own computer and I'm at home.
right.
Putting
Yeah.
restrictions on my computer. So, yes. Thank you, lady.
You're so welcome. Like, what do I still have? I think I'm like getting ready to share this one. I changed all the answers already. I just have to finish the symbols.
When you create your pictures, do you start with like a totally blank platform?
Yeah.
I do. I start in Excel and I make all of my columns and rows the same height and then just start going. It's definitely better to start with something simple and get used to it before you start doing this craziness. But yeah.
I know I've been trying to do some of those, using the bricks, and I've made 3 or 4. But again, my problem is to apply to the range. That's where I've got the problem. I can make the columns, I can make the questions, I can, now I've got an artwork that's kind of mine, but trying to assign the colors to where it's supposed to be, that's where I have a problem. So I guess this whole mind just can't.
Have you watched some of the videos on how to do that?
I have, and it just will not sink into this old head.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, Elaine, your old head is extremely wonderful because the stuff that you do and the stuff that you create is fantabulous. So
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sandy, if you have something that a subject you want to do, I'm really good at those puzzles, those jigsaw ones. Let me know and I'll be glad to help.
Elaine, be careful. I might just do it because literally when I tried to do it, it took me half an hour to 45 minutes to do a 10-question one that was already formatted.
Yeah, it's not useful if it's taking you that long. Like you have to be able to do it faster to make it worthwhile.
Agreed.
If you'll notice, I've asked 2 or 3 times on things for people what kind of subjects they need. I made a Excel file 3 pages long, and I've done most of them. It's just the ones where I needed more space that gave me problems. But
I replied to you. It's like, okay, grammar, figurative language.
I think I've done several on figurative language.
That's awesome. That is so nice of you.
Well, at one point I was doing homebound and we had very few homebound students and I had to do something to keep them going crazy at the office.
There you go. That's a good, I mean, heck, somebody's benefiting from it. So that's awesome.
That's what I figured. I said, it may not be helping me at the moment, but it's helping somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that. That's so nice of you.
And I just keep stealing from Debbie and I'm going to mispronounce her name just to sure. Miss J up there and then Mindy. Mimi, I just keep stealing and reformatting. So
that's great. That's fine.
I can't do the pictures, but I can reformat.
Honestly, I started with my own pictures, right? I feel like I'm really good with sheets and with all the formulas and figuring out new things to do with them. But Julianne and Debbie work so beautifully with their sheets that I'm just like, I'll just reformat. It saves me all this time and have this beautiful artwork. So I don't know if you guys pay attention or not, but I haven't posted a lot of my own stuff anymore other than puzzles and things like that. Because I like, again, figuring out new ways of doing things. But if you have all this awesome artwork, you can't get through it all. So might as well use it.
That's right.
Yeah, you definitely, unless you want something very specific on the Facebook page, there's tons for you to find to reformat. So you don't have to do everything from scratch. I mean, it's nice to learn and to know how, but it's definitely, with everything that's been shared already, there's definitely something for everyone.
There is. I was just trying to hold my students' interest, and some of them were like, "Do you have any anime? Do you have any?" I'm like, I don't know.
let me search. Let me search. And
They do like the anime much, much more, at least my fourth grade students. They're asking always for anime and
Yep.
Roblox and Minecraft.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to be mindful of that when I find things to make, because I know that's what the kids really like. And there's kind of a target for the littles, and then there's a target for the middle, and there's a target for the high school. And so, you know, you don't want to make like algebra with a kitty picture, because they're going to think that's dumb. So you have to kind of figure out what they like.
This is, and you know, I mean, because we've known each other now a long time, Debbie, but I did think that too. But when I did your kitty in the bubbles with my AP stats class at the end of the year, I got so many, oh, that's so cute. Oh my God. I was like, really? I've been avoiding these pictures all year, trying to like come up with things you guys would laugh at. And the kitty was like, really got them. But yeah, I feel like you have a lot more buy-in with students when you do something that they like. So,
Yeah.
or something that's really you, right? Like I know for a fact, not all my students like Harry Potter, but they see how excited I get about it, that I feel like they appreciate my enthusiasm. And anytime that it's another, that's their first guess. Is it another Potter one? So it's just like the immediate buy-in of them trying to see what it is, to see if it is another Harry Potter one. But it gets them interested in something, for me, in something like math, right? Where a lot of students have so much like reservations for.
Well, I found that when I was creating them for my students, my own kids would come and they're like, "My teachers aren't doing this. Will you make them for me?" And they're in like first and third grade. So then I had to reformat for them too.
That's me with my kindergartner. I teach high school and I'm sitting there making kindergarten ones every day. And that's the first thing she does in the morning. She's like, "Mom, can we do another activity?" And I'm like, "Okay, sweetie, let's recycle one of the other ones." Because I was making one a day and they take a long time.
Yep.
Sandy, one of the best purchases I got was getting the templates for the jigsaw, and then use a Pixabay to find my images.
Mm-hmm.
And I have made so many that way, and I've got several that I'm just waiting. I've made the pictures, and I've done everything Debbie taught me to do, and then I've got them waiting. So if something pops up, then I can use that one. So
How long does it usually
good,
take you, Blaine, once you have or once to start from the pictures? Because for me, it was creating it on the Google Slides and then, taking a screenshot and then dragging the screenshot to the thing. It was half an hour. Forget even writing.
on Teacher Pay Teacher, where Debbie's got the templates for the puzzles,
Right.
I could do one from start to finish, finding my information and doing everything in 30 minutes.
Okay.
You do definitely get faster at moving them. Like when I move the pictures into the Google Sheets, the images that I want, like if you have your files set up on one side of your screen and the sheets on the other, and you can just drag and drop them, you find little tricks to get faster at it. So it's one of those things that just, you get faster with time.
Yeah.
But once you figure out how to do those templates, it makes it so much easier. The thing that takes me the longest time, because like I said, I had 3 pages worth, and it was from kindergarten through high school, was finding the information to put in it. So that's my big search, is finding the information. And once I can find what I want, then it will go really smooth and putting my questions and my answers in. Ladies, thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
Oh,
So
we're
we're
so
gonna try.
glad.
Very much. Thank you. Really appreciate it. And as somebody who trolls it and doesn't do anything, thank you. It just
Oh,
you guys have made a difference in my school year. I gotta go. Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Debbie and Miss J, I do appreciate y'all so much. You don't know how much. So again, and we're gonna meet next Tuesday about 3 again. I'm at 3 o'clock my time.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do on that one is I'm just gonna take one of Mimi's and I'm just gonna rip it all apart and change it to something like very.
Thank you. I love her artwork, and I know she
It's
does
the best.
the pixel art add-on, and I've tried that, but my school computer will not allow it. And then when I did a home account, it didn't want to save it and work. And so I said, forget it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I just absolutely love her artwork. Now especially for my daughter, it's just
Yeah.
it's so clean and so cute. And I'm sure there's tons of people on our site that take her stuff just as is and use it. It's just,
Oh yeah.
it's so wonderful. But because I teach a subject completely different, I find myself having to reformat, and they do take a
Yeah,
little
good.
while, but it's not impossible, right? And
Right.
what takes the longest is making that artwork. So she's already done all that. So there's still ways to take advantage of all the hard work she's already put into it.
All right. Thank you. I'm gone.
You're welcome. Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Who else is still here? Anyone else got questions? I'm gonna keep going here. I'm still just, because I'm also chatting. This is taking longer than it would have. Copy. Debbie, are you still here? All right, I think what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna stop the recording here, because I don't see any other questions. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, and I'll tell him. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. But I'm going to stop the recording here because I don't think I'm doing anything new, and then I'll share this on Facebook. But if I stop the recording, it'll start processing, so then I can post it on YouTube for everyone else to watch. Thanks for joining us. You can definitely stick around though, even after I stop the recording. If you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them.